Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's episode of The Nerd is the Word. I am Josh.
I'm Jeff.
And you might have noted a little house cleaning before we start. You might have noticed, haven't really posted a video the past couple weeks. I became a homeowner, so that's kind of been holding up most of my time. Yeah, thank you. Wow. My rent went down, though, so that's good. So, monthly payment. I know, right? So, but we've been planning stuff for the house and because we're going to build out here once we get to that point. So there's been a lot of planning, working on some stuff for the podcast. I've made a lot of thumbnails because we're going to do some reviews. We're going to do some watch-alongs, so we got those coming. We're planning them. We're working on them. We promise we haven't forgotten about this. Just this isn't our job. Well, it is our job. This isn't our main job. So
this is our fun time.
Yeah. This is our hobby right now. So we're you gotta just bear with us a little bit. But before we get started on our actual content, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. Just been, bowling league started for Thursday night. I finally got my other ring up here for my 300. So I finally get to add that one to the collection. I'm like 2 rings away, and I'll look like half of Shang-Chi. It'll be 5 rings of power,
That's funny.
And topical, seeing as how that comes out in less than was it 2 weeks for Shang-Chi?
I think it's the beginning of September. Yeah, September. I want to say 6th, but I'm probably wrong on that.
The 3rd. Ooh,
the 3rd. Okay.
Yeah, so that's literally like 2 weeks, I think.
Well, it was divisible by 3. So.
Yeah. So it'll be a week from Friday.
Sweet. So, I can't wait.
Yeah,
that looks good. That looks good. I wasn't gonna. Well, I was gonna watch it, but my thing was, and it was a lot like some of the other Marvel characters. I never really followed Shang-Chi. I mean, I read the couple issues he was in. I was like, okay, this dude's kind of cool, but I never gave him the attention that this trailer. I was like,
oh yeah, this last trailer. Oh, it made me. I was already in, but this last trailer made me like want to see it.
Oh, I'm pretty excited. I really am. Let's see. What have I been doing? I mean, we've been cleaning up. I got some new pops. I'll go ahead and do a little presenty. Blade. Light hitting it. I didn't get. They put out a Blade a year or two back or sometime back, and I never got it. And I got me a Dr. Fate because your boy likes some Dr. Fate.
So that Blade is what, the Wesley Snipes, right? It's not the Mahershala Ali.
Oh, I don't.
I would assume we haven't seen the Mahershala Ali like stuff start to come out.
I think it's just the comic Blade. It's just the books. Because Wesley Snipes had that like
the triangle
hairdo. This is just a normal comic Blade. I mean, it looks good. Both of them are summer conventions. So I was looking when they announced them. I was like.
All I know is that if Wesley Snipes does not come back to be Whistler, I will be upset.
Oh, I'll be so mad. Oh, I had talked about that with my uncle the other day. I was like, dude, bring Wesley Snipes back. Bring him in as Whistler and just have him not make little jokes, and I'll be all for it. But I'm looking forward to it. But no, other than that,
well, when Ryan Reynolds meets him, there's definitely going to be a joke about that. Seeing as how he was in Blade 3.
100%. That would be so. Wow.
Like he's gonna meet him. He's like, you look different than the last time we met.
Yeah. But no. Other than that, we finished the Long Halloween Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look. When it comes to DC animated, they have had a lot of people voice Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Conroy will always be number 1 for me. I liked Jason O'Mara, who was him in the past. But Jensen did so well. He did so good. I really hope they bring him back for more. I mean, I'm a Supernatural kid. I loved him as Dean. I liked him in Under the Red Hood. But him as Batman, that was something to just experience. And I'm for it, man. And I'm gonna do a review on both parts here soon because I have a lot to say about this movie. I was not upset. I thought I would be. Because they have DC has a history of when they do animated versions of their books to change up a lot of stuff. Like their version of Hush, I was not keen on because They just ruined it. I'm not going to spoil it right now because I'm going to do a review on that one too. But this movie was so great. Me and Serena watched it, and their Harvey Dent was good. I can't think of anything that I didn't like. It felt like the animated series. I mean, the art style was very, very animated series, and I'll give it a 9.5, man. I mean, I'm going to do a review, but I'll go ahead and say right now, 9.5. The only reason why the 0.5 is because there's not any more Jensen Batman for who knows when, and I love it. But no, we gather here today because we both watched a little movie, and I don't know if you've heard about it. It's been in the news.
Mentioned a couple times, yeah.
It's I don't want to say it's an underground film, but if you haven't, no, The Suicide Squad.
It was beautiful.
It was very good. We watched it on Serena's birthday, which was not my choice, by the way.
Oh.
I made her dinner, all that, and we're scrolling through HBO Max, and she was like, "Let's watch Suicide Squad." And she's not really a big Harley Quinn fan. Mm-hmm. Like she's just kind of like, and I can't blame her. I love Margot Robbie as Harley, but they have a lot of fine tweaking to. Look, this is probably the best version of Harley to me. I liked her in Birds of Prey.
Yeah, I think that this really was just an extension of her character. Like you see the growth in Birds of Prey, and then this is just like the next step of that, where this is after that's going on.
Yeah, that's what I love.
Birds of Prey, they're giving what's her name?
Canary.
Yeah, Canary's getting her own film.
I can't wait. I loved her as Black Canary. I loved her. What I would love for her, look, if they're doing Black Canary, slide some Oliver Queen up in there because they're married and they have kids. So
Stephen Amell, I don't think is doing anything. Let's get him back in the.
Well, heck, from what I heard, and they talked about this years ago, but because they were talking about something between the TV shows and the movies, they don't want to. It was stupid, but someone said the dude that played Jax from Sons of Anarchy would do a good Oliver Queen, and I wouldn't mind seeing that. But yeah,
I didn't watch Sons of Anarchy, so I have no idea who you're talking about.
He's a good actor. I'm trying to think of. He was in, I think, the first Pacific Rim movie. He was in that King Arthur movie with Jude Law.
Oh, it's Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, Charlie Hunnam.
Why didn't you say that?
I don't know, because I didn't think about saying it.
That makes more.
But I wouldn't mind seeing him take up the role.
What did I see? I feel like I saw him in something recently. What was it?
I can't think of anything he's been in recently, honestly. But I also haven't been paying attention. So.
Yeah, I saw him in. Oh, I watched the. What was that movie? The Gentleman. That one with.
Yeah, he was in that one, the Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah, because it was the one with Matthew McConaughey, and
was it Hugh Grant in that?
Yeah.
But
Colin Farrell was it? Yeah, Colin Farrell was the other.
I still have to watch that. You said it was good, and
it was so fantastic.
I love a Guy Ritchie movie. I mean, I still think Snatch is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, that movie was just so good from start to finish with because there's all these little twists where it's you watch the movie and then it's okay, so this is what you missed while you were watching the movie. And you're oh, that makes more. And it's just a whole, it's oh, you thought this was happening, but really it was this. And it's oh, you thought this was happening, but really it's this. And it just on top of itself. And it was just so good.
Did you ever watch Snatch?
I can't say that I have.
It's got Brad Pitt. I'm trying to remember some of the names right now. I know that the dude that plays Morgan from Walking Dead's in it. And it's about, what is it? Benicio del Toro, Benicio, however you say his first name, he's in it. And it's they're all trying to get a diamond, and Brad Pitt's a Irish.
It's got Jason Statham, Vinnie Jones.
Yeah, Jason Statham. But Brad Pitt's a Irish bare knuckle boxer, and he's ridiculously funny. It's a good movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you watch it. It is so funny. There's a dude named Boris the bullet dodger or something like that. And they're like, why do you call him that? And he goes, because he dodges bullets. It's funny. But no, Guy Ritchie, I mean, look, I think he's working on Sherlock Holmes 3, so.
Yeah, I was about to say, I didn't realize that he was the one that did the Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr.
Which, great movies. I mean,
I
I love
also
them.
didn't know he was a writer on the Aladdin movie for Disney.
Oh, yeah, his name is in the credits. You know what? Now that I think about it, I knew that because when they did the whole like opening credits and they're showing all the names of everyone who worked on it, I looked at Serena. I was like, "Guy Ritchie did this? If they don't drop an F-bomb in this, I'm going to be kind of disappointed."
They're making an Aladdin 2. Oh Lord.
Well, I mean, Aladdin 1 apparently did very well. We didn't watch all of it. I mean,
I never even turned it on for a single second because I think that was one of the ones that you had to like pay for, and then we just have never actually gone back and watched it.
Yeah, we watched it when Disney Plus added it on there for free. I didn't go to theaters. I think Serena went to theaters to go see it though, but no, Suicide Squad. All right, do you want to go first? Because I have some words, and they're not all bad, but there's a little like file of bad, and there's others that are like, okay, that was cool.
Well, let's do like a little review of like what happened in the film first, and then we'll get into like
so
what we thought.
Before we start this, spoilers if you haven't seen it. It's been out
for a few weeks. You should have seen it by now.
Yeah, it's been out for almost a month. So if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? You're listening to this podcast. You haven't seen Suicide Squad. I don't think that's likely. So, but
it starts out with we get a little cast of characters that were teased in the trailers, so it's people that we knew were going to be in the movie, and I love the whole bait and switch aspect of that whole thing.
I did too. I thought that was very clever.
Obviously, that was the one where you get most of the like the big time cameos. So you get like the Nathan Fillion cameo, you get the Pete Davidson. That's where you get like Sean Gunn's cameo as Weasel.
Who played Captain Boomerang? What's his name?
Is the same dude from the that was actually one of the like 2 returning people from the first one.
Yeah, what was his name? Serena knows it because she loves that actor. I can't remember his name right now. I'm not even gonna try and guess.
Actually, it was through his Jai Courtney.
Yeah,
that's what it says. Yeah, he was the one that was in the first one. I forgot about Rick Flag as the
and Amanda Waller.
Returning. Yeah, that was the third one.
So I think there was only 4 original cast members, right?
Including Amanda Waller. Yes.
Yeah.
So it was 4 returning, but like of the people that were actually out there, it was just a 3. So you had Mongal, who we got to see. You got to see Flula Borg's javelin, and all those people just like show up, and then you think that some stuff's gonna happen, and then all hell breaks loose, and it's just like a 10-minute montage of people dying.
What I thought was
I almost forgot. How did I forget Michael Rooker? Michael Rooker's Savant was also there. Yeah.
And well, when because he's like the first face you see.
Yeah.
And Serena was looking, she's like, "Where have I seen him?" I was like, "Well,
it's Mary Poppins."
Yeah, it's Mary Poppins. Guardians. And she's like, she goes, "He wasn't in Guardians." I was like, "No, he was."
It's Yondu.
He was Yondu. And she looks, she goes, "He looks so old." I was like, "'Cause he is so old. Dude's been in movies for like.
You know what? How old is Michael Rooker? That's a good question.
He's got to be in his 50s. He has to be like mid or late 50s.
He was born in 55.
Yeah, so he's almost 70.
Yeah.
Wow. Age.
He looks good for almost 70. Let's put it that way. He looks
good for almost 70, man. Jeez. But yeah, no, they have the montage of heck where everyone's just, it's comically, comically just hilarious, like a Looney Tunes of just death.
Can we talk about Nathan Fillion's character for a second?
Oh my god,
that was so funny.
What does TDK stand for?
It's my name.
It's my name. Your name's letters? Everyone's name
letters?
is just letters.
All names are letters, dickhead.
Yeah, I did love the
But when the arms came off and they're just like floating through the air and it just
I sat there and I was just like, why?
How did he even end up in jail? Like, what did he do to get locked up?
I want to know that. I really want to know that.
That's the story I really want to see. So what when his arms just go?
Yeah, just like
what? What is he doing?
I sat there, I looked at Serena and I was like, oh, this is going to end badly for him. I'll go ahead and tell you. And let me close out Facebook. I forgot that Facebook likes to be loud and just do a bunch of things. Let me close that out. I apologize for the sound of my other life.
And I can't believe that Harley was actually in that first one. I guess that was their way of like trying to make you feel like something cool was going to happen.
Yeah,
having Harley there, because it's like, oh well, they're not going to kill her, and then everybody starts dying, and it's like, what in the
American people? They love accents. That's because we ain't got any.
Said by the woman who is not from America.
Yes, that whole that first 10 minutes was just a lot of me sitting there like, okay, who's gonna die? And I looked at Captain Boomerang. I was like, well, surely they're not gonna kill him.
They killed him.
Yeah. I sat there. I was like, no, it's Captain Boomerang. He's a main squad member. He's gonna be in there later. And then I saw him with like all the trials, like, just run away. Don't get up. Get up. No. They did the boomerangs very well, though. I love the glow boomerang. That was just it was beautiful. And then
you get the bait and switch to the other team, and we beat the real cast of the movie,
the real Suicide Squad. And it's just like, okay, I'll forgive you. I'm mad that you killed Captain Boomerang. I was a big fan of Boomer. And one thing. And I think I posted it. If I didn't post it on the podcast page, I will. They have not once, and they can't now, but they didn't once through any of the Suicide Squad with Boomerang in there, well, both of them, I guess, have Harley say Boomerwang. They didn't do that once. Assault on Arkham did that. And that was the funniest part of that movie. When Harley's like, point your boomerang somewhere else. And it's like, it's a joke. Okay, see, there we go. But no.
Joke, yeah. But yeah, then we meet the real cast, which includes Idris Elba's Bloodsport. You get John Cena's Peacemaker. You get to see, you get to meet the King Shark, who was voiced by
Sylvester Stallone.
Voiced by Sylvester Stallone, but weirdly enough played on set by Steve Agee, who was also in the movie. Steve Agee is the one that did the mocap. He was the guy with the glasses that was sitting behind the computer.
Oh yeah, and we got a damn kaiju in here.
Yeah, that guy.
He was probably one of my favorite parts of that movie.
But he actually did the mocap for that, which was always wild to me on that one.
That is, yeah.
That you had one guy voice him and one guy play him.
And Sean Gunn is Kraglin also, right? If I'm remembering right.
In Guardians, yes.
Yeah, he also played Calendar Man.
Yeah, he did. That was his. So he played Calendar Man in the scene from Arkham, or yeah, I guess that was Arkham that they were.
It was Bellrive, however you say the last name.
Okay. But whatever prison they were at, he was Calendar Man in the prison, but he was the guy in the suit for Weasel.
Well, I sat there and because we had watched because Calendar Man is kind of a big part in Long Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
He's the person they go to, kind of like Hannibal Lecter and Silence of the Lambs and all. They go to him. This is what you deal with. How do you do this? Who's Calendar Man in Long Halloween, voiced by David Dastmalchian.
So, David Dastmalchian in this movie was Polka Dot Man.
Who I was not excited that they put him in this movie until I watched the movie. I was like, I love it. He was awesome. But no, yeah. So they go in, they're getting their whole mission briefing on this is what you got to do. This is what's all going to happen.
And don't forget about we also had the Ratcatcher 2.
Yes, who I loved. We'll get into my thoughts on Ratcatcher later, but yes, they have their whole briefing and Bloodsport and his daughter, which was hilarious.
That was because it was like so I think what made it so funny was the fact that in the first movie, like Will Smith was like doing everything for like the love of his kid.
Yeah.
And like they had this great like father-daughter relationship, and like he was trying to do it to protect her, whereas in this one it was like supposed to be the same relationship, but it's like the exact opposite. Yeah, and it was just so funny.
That was one of my favorite parts of that movie. But yeah, Idris Elba knocked it out of the park with Bloodsport. So great. Idris Elba, a man who walks through two worlds, just like, if you notice, a lot of DC and Marvel actors usually kind of flip-flop.
Well, so here's the thing. He's about to go through 3, right? Because he's supposed to be the next James Bond, isn't he?
I think he was in talks. I'm not sure if they've confirmed it yet.
I feel like they confirmed that.
I haven't seen it. They probably did. I haven't been following much of James Bond other than No Time to Die, because I'm waiting for that to come out.
Yeah, that's going to be the last one with Daniel Craig. And then that was the thing, was they announced him to be like the next. Well, I know. So the big news with him was the fact that he was he's going to be the voice of Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
I saw that, and I thought I had sent that to you. I read it and I was like, oh, yes, let me get some Idris Elba and Knuckles, because that's awesome. But yeah, but no, I will be a little upset when Daniel Craig when his Bond leaves, because he's my favorite Bond, like through all the 007 movies.
Yeah, but like because like I think the first couple that I remember seeing it was Pierce Brosnan, but for the most part, it's always been like Daniel Craig, and that's the one that I always associate with it.
Well, and my uncles are like, Sean Connery's the greatest, and yeah, that's their time. I get that. Daniel Craig to me was just more of a realistic Bond. His was more of there were stakes in being Bond.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan never really got his ass kicked.
The only thing good about the Pierce Brosnan films was the fact that they made GoldenEye into a game for the Nintendo 64, which is still one of the greatest Nintendo 64 games ever.
Which also, 007 is the reason why Brosnan wasn't Batman, because they went to Brosnan to be Batman before Keaton, but he wanted to be 007, so he kind of was just waiting. But no, and Suicide Squad. Yeah, they have their briefing, which was funny in ways that you're like, did they mean to write it to be funny?
Hand.
That is your hand. I like that.
That is your hand. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And he's making the starfish is another term for a butthole. Is any correlation? No.
No. But just like, what are you doing?
Oh, but man. And I will say, what was her name that played Amanda Waller? I hate that I don't know this. It's
Viola Davis.
Yes, knocks it out of the park once again. My favorite, Amanda Waller.
Well, so the biggest thing about Amanda Waller is that like she has to be a villain, right?
Well, not only she has to be a villain, but she has to be just
somebody that you despise. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And somehow over these two, like even with the other one, she's carried over the same personality, where it's just like she does a great job at what she's doing. It's just you really hate her character.
Yes, like the entire time you're watching her, like, okay, when is she gonna die? But can we also just go ahead and just point out the betting of I have him. He's gonna die first.
Oh yeah, that was. Oh my god, that was. It was a. Because it was just like the Deadpool thing that they did in Deadpool. Like that was the.
Well, and I 100%, when she walks in, she's like, "What are you doing?" I 100% sat there, wanted her to go. I got 100 on this guy. Like I felt like that was happening, and that's what I love about this movie was when you think something's gonna happen, it doesn't, and they just throw it over to some. Oh,
Yeah, I thought she did a great job in the same way that whoever it is that plays Dolores Umbridge in the Harry
Oh
Potter
yeah.
movies. Like I think that she did a great job in
Oh yes. And
actress, but I
she
absolutely despise Dolores Umbridge.
she's an actor. Yes, like she played that character where you're like, wow, that is so 100% the book. Or with Amanda Waller, that's the comics. You're also like, I hate this woman so much.
Which
I
I
mean,
think would be which I think they would take as a big compliment because like that was the
yes,
point.
and it's just like the dude that played Shane in The Walking Dead. The same dude that does Punisher. His John Bernthal.
Hmm.
He played that character so well and so 100% to the comics, but you cheered when he died because you're like, finally. But yeah, like, we'll get, yeah, let's continue before I get ahead of myself. I have a habit of doing that.
So from that point it jumps it jumps back to the island
Yes.
where we get like the scenes of them like learning to know each other, going through like the forest. You see the first little hints at like what Polka Dot Man, like what's happening to him
Yeah.
when he has to just like go and like throw up all the polka dots.
Or else he'll
Uh,
die, which was,
yeah, and uh, and then we get the I think one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie when they get called to go rescue Rick Flag and they just go on this like absolutely murderous rampage only to find out that he wasn't actually in danger and he was with
which,
like a friend.
yeah, and that was one of the funniest parts where it's just Bloodsport and Peacemaker just kind of trying to like one up each other,
Hmm.
and you missed them, just, and also the first time in a DC movie that they're like, here's a penis. To which I was like, oh, okay. Didn't see that coming. This is a DC movie. Mm. But real quick, talking about back at the them getting no shit where King Shark is just like, I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
But no,
Don't
yeah,
eat
yeah,
her. Oh,
yeah, that when they go and see Rick Flag and they're like, why didn't my men alert me? Like, I didn't see anybody.
I didn't see anybody.
No,
What are you talking about?
there's no one here. And then just King Shark just like pops up through the curtains, just looking. Oh,
That
my
was
favorite.
just so good. Like, you
He was
killed
my favorite part
all
of the
of
whole.
my men.
He was like he was the most memorable part of this movie for me. I mean, other than like the little jokes, was just King Shark because he was so lovable.
Fake mustache.
Fake mustache.
I'll
But
wear a
no, yeah. So,
disguise.
like, see, oh look at that, he's learning Spanish. But no, I mean, but yeah. So then they go and save Harley,
Hmm. Well,
which
first, yeah,
oh
they
yeah,
go and save Harley, and it was just so funny because that was one of my favorite parts from the trailer. Was the oh well, I can go back if you still want to rescue me.
yeah. Bloodsport's like that's patronizing. So, we had a plan. It was really good too. But yeah, so they get Peacemaker. A lot of funny lines.
I'm very excited for the show that's coming out. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I am too. But no, yeah. So they get together, leave after saving Harley, which just that whole part with her just unloading on everybody. That was just like that's a she bad.
Hmm. I will
But
say
yeah,
it.
anyways,
She showed like how like there's a reason that she's still around
yeah, and it's not because she's so
for a
nice.
character. Yeah, for a character that was created what in like the '90s.
Yeah, a character who's created for the animated series.
Yeah, that's one of the very few characters that I'm older than.
Yeah, yeah. She's one of those characters that she was using the animated series, and
And
after that,
everybody loved her, and then like the
yeah,
books just kind of gave her like a whole backstory, and
which
just
so well done.
oh god, yeah, it's and honestly like I would imagine one of the best sellers for DC right now.
Yeah, I mean, Harley's doing very well, and I am very happy that she is. I'm happy that she got her own arc to where she was able to leave Joker and she's able to do her own thing. You know, her and Ivy are together, and it's amazing. I love it. It's so great. Her books they're good reads.
And then yeah, she's got the like they have the show too, the little animated show,
which is hilarious if you haven't seen it.
I've seen a few episodes, but like it kind of, so the biggest thing that kind of it having Penny be the voice just kind of threw me off.
Yeah, she does good for that show though. I liked her in that show. I love, who is it, Ron Funches as King Shark.
I just love Ron Funches. He's hilarious. But yeah, King Shark.
I loved him in New Girl. Was it New Girl? Or?
I remember him, and he was on the show At Midnight all the time.
Yeah,
and that's what I remember him most as, just being like absolutely hysterical, funny.
I think he was in New Girl too, though, where
Steve Agee was also in New Girl as well.
Yeah,
he was like a homeless guy that lived outside of their building.
Well, Ron was also a homeless guy. And he comes up to Nick and her, and he's sitting there singing. He's singing Father Figure, and it is so funny. But no, yeah. Anyways, review or recap. Continue.
We get the bar scene, which had the cameo with Mantis as one of the dancers.
Yeah, man, I gotta go back and rewatch it.
She was one of the dancers in the bar scene. Like they put her face like right there, and you're like, is it Mantis? That's Mantis. Because she just didn't have the little, so it didn't quite, because she had hair and she didn't have, so it was, so it made it like hard to tell, but it was her.
Yeah.
So that was one of the little things that James Gunn put in there,
which he has a habit of doing.
And not to mention the fact that Jotunheim was the name of the fortress, and
which I love that.
And you have Idris Elba, who was in all of the Thor movies.
But I will say that dance scene with John Cena.
I need to know who came up with the idea to put the dance scene in first. If it was James Gunn's Suicide Squad with John Cena, or if it was the Falcon. One with Falcon and the Winter Soldier with with Zemo. I need to know if there is like a extended cut of Cena dancing.
Oh, there is.
I need to see,
because that was amazing. It was so I did like the one drink, and then what it felt like is they're slowly kind of becoming friends.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was the bar scene from the first Suicide Squad in a sense.
Yeah,
they're all having a drink, hanging out. I mean, circumstances a little different, obviously, but and then the doctor comes in, who I thought he was going to be in this movie longer. I really did. I had a feeling he was going to be like kind of a bigger person than.
Yeah, so you would think that with a character that's kind of as big as the Thinker is, like you would have a little bit more other than just, oh yeah, he's here working with Starro, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I thought that the comeuppance that he got at the end of it, it seemed kind of fitting.
It did.
But I did love the fact that they have the Doctor as the Thinker, and then you see how big Jotunheim is, like on the inside, and it's like, oh, it's bigger on the inside. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. No, it was the hat tilt.
I was like, oh, I see what you did there.
But yeah, no, then you get the plan to blow up Jotunheim and all that. Mm-hmm. And King Shark just being adorable.
Mm-hmm. Friends.
Peacemaker. It's very nice. Just put it on the wall. I did like, new dumb friends. And it warmed my heart. I was watching him laugh and run. I was like, there's nothing bad can happen about this. And then something bad happens about that. And
it was so crazy the way that they made us feel for a giant shark.
Just a giant shark who is also a serial killer.
Yeah, that too. Well, he's probably not a serial killer. He's probably just hungry.
True. That, and I'm pretty sure. I think King Shark is a Flash villain.
Yeah, most of the time I see it associated with Flash.
Yeah,
so because they have it even in the Flash TV show, King Shark has appeared a couple of times.
Yeah. But yeah, so then you get the real reason why they're there.
Starro.
Starro, and to destroy all of the evidence.
Yeah.
And that is where you do get the part that I wasn't a big fan of, the Peacemaker and Rick Flag fight, which was very well choreographed. But also,
so talking about that shot where they put some of the fight in the rotating camera around the helmet, how on earth did at no point in that shot did we see any sort of a film crew or a camera or like a sound rig? Like, how did they get away with that? Just from an actual physical shooting level, how?
Skill, and it is so well made. But then you get, what part I liked about it first was Rick Flag, he takes the drive and he's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then you just see Peacemaker. And I'm sitting there like, no, I was starting to like you. I was starting to hope nothing happened to you. And now I'm just going to be mad. And it was also one of those things where you understand why he's doing it. He was given an order. He's very, let's go do this. And I'm pretty sure he also has his reasons for not wanting to be in prison. And this is one of the main things that Waller gave him to do. He's going to finish it. And I get that.
Well, that's his thing, right? Is it's peace at all costs.
Yeah.
So like he'll do whatever it takes to keep the peace. And that was like what he was saying, is that even if it means like all these bad things get swept under the rug, at least there will be peace.
Yes, and I can get it, and I understand it. I'm still angry that Rick Flag is dead.
Yeah,
because Rick Flag was one of my favorite.
I actually really liked his character in this movie.
I love Joel Kinnaman. He is such a great actor, and he did Rick Flag so well. And I mean, hey, it's Suicide Squad. People are gonna die, but
that was one that I didn't think was gonna die.
Yeah, that was
really a part of the Suicide Squad, right? Like he's like technically like the leader, but like he doesn't have a chip in his head.
He's more of the, I guess, in a sense, you would not really the Nick Fury, but like I don't even know who to compare him to for Marvel. I mean, he's a member, but he's not.
Yeah, like he's basically the babysitter for them.
Yeah, he's there to make sure they do what they're supposed to do, and that's that. But yeah, then Ratcatcher 2 sees Peacemaker do what he did, takes the drive, and you're just like, oh, if something happens to her,
I was going to flip a table. Yeah,
I was going to throw hands. But
can we also talk about the fact that Taika Waititi was played her father?
Yeah, and I was I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, so like we saw it a little bit, like it was like a real far away look at who it was. And so it was just like, oh, I wonder who it's going to be that they got. And then when they had that scene towards the end of the movie where he was talking with her up on, like, I think it was the Eiffel Tower.
I don't know. I know it was one of those buildings. I didn't.
And then like it really like zooms in on him. You can hear him talking. You're like, oh my god, is it Korg?
But yeah, and also I was telling Serena, they got away with doing Ratcatcher and all that, and they didn't mention Batman because Ratcatcher.
Well, I mean, they really didn't mention any of like the big superheroes, right? They really stayed away from it, and I think that it's actually a good thing for them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they mentioned Superman because of Bloodsport, and he put Superman in the ICU with a kryptonite bullet. But then they don't mention any of them. Like they just kind of like, yeah, they're out there. you know, if you don't get the Suicide Squad essentially without really getting Batman or Superman or any of them, but
you know who put them in jail.
Yeah, you know who put them in jail, but we're gonna leave that to you.
Well, I think the biggest thing that helps it, right, is that they get to stay out of all this mess of, is this in the Snyderverse? Is this in this?
Yeah.
Is it?
And
by literally not mentioning it and not showing a single one, they get to leave it open to doubt where if something happens, they can just slide right on in.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, they're able to get away with it. They're also able to kind of limit themselves from the Justice League and all that. They're kind of like, look, this movie isn't about them. It's about these guys.
Yeah.
You know, we're not really gonna spend time showing you Batman or Superman or any of them because they don't pertain to the story. You don't need to know which Batman is Batman or whatever to enjoy this movie, and I dug that. But yeah, you get the whole, is Ratcatcher gonna die, with Peacemaker looking down, and you get this is what was happening while they're fighting.
The jump cut the same as it was in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, you get
oh yeah, by the way, here's what was happening elsewhere.
Yeah, you get the, you know, all right, they're setting the bombs, you know, they're getting everything set. Milton, who's Milton? Him.
He's been with us the whole time.
Yeah, I love that. I thought he was still in the van. No. But yeah, you get the building just blowing up, and I did love the blood sport. Toom, 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 just falling floor by floor by floor by floor by floor, and it's just like, really, this is what we're doing right now? Okay, all right, whatever. But no, yeah, then you get Starro released.
Well, before that, you get the scene where Bloodsport kills Peacemaker with the smaller bullet that was teased in the very beginning of the movie.
I thought that was clever. Smaller bullet. And I forgot they were doing a Peacemaker show at first, and I was like, okay, he's dead.
But wait, there's more.
What a twist. If it was Shyamalan. But yeah, so you get that, and you can kind of see Bloodsport. He's not as bad as he's trying to make himself out to be. He's saying, there's no good in me. It's like, is there? I see a little bit. And he sticks the thing in his glove, and he's like, well, no, that was towards the end. But no, yeah, so you got all the, what country was it? It was Corto Maltese? Yeah. Their army out there, and then just King Shark doing what King Shark does, which was funny. Just him biting dude's head off. He's like,
because he was just like snacking on it. He was just like, oh yeah, another day, another Tuesday.
I did like where he comes in chewing on him. He's like, just doing and waving. But yeah, and then Starro comes out, and they're putting out all the little Starro pods or whatever.
Starro hives, yeah.
And them just like falling off a King Shark. I was like, oh, did they just do that? That was cool. But no, yeah. Then you get just the cluster that was that ending.
Which I thought it was really good. It was because like when you do something like Starro, like half the battle is figuring out how to make it work.
Yeah, and Starro's
it's a giant starfish. Like, how do you make that badass?
Exactly. He was also one of those characters that I don't remember really wanting, but in this, I was like, okay, it really does, because Starro was always kind of like a golden age villain for me. I mean, he was a Justice League villain, and now it's kind of like they made that work in a way I didn't think they were going to be able to.
And then make you feel bad when he dies. Like, that was the one that hurt me.
Yeah, like, that was the
one. I feel bad.
With the, just like, I was happy just floating out there. And it's just kind of like, wow. God, they make so many movies where mankind is the worst. And
not wrong.
Look, I'm 23 years old. I've lived on this planet for 23 years. I can't say I disagree. But no, and then they did the whole Harley jump. I know why I have
The javelin.
Yeah, the javelin. She jumps in, and then she's kind of just like, and then just all the rap, which I was sitting there like, because look, I have a thing with rodents, like mice and mouses.
Right, Bloodsport, calm down.
No, they kind of give me the heat. Like if it were frogs, I'd have turned the movie off. I 100%. I would be like, I have no idea how that movie ended. Tell me, because I would have hit that button so fast. No, not happening. But no, yeah. So I did like the what was it? Nanu? Is that King Shark's real name?
Nanui, Nanue.
Yeah, Nanue. I don't know. I feel like I'm butchering the name.
Yeah,
But where Bloodsport's like num nums, and he just looks up, and just runs up, and starts eating it. And then you get David Dastmalchian's death, Polka Dot Man, who I started to really enjoy. And who is that? And it's just his mom, which was just so funny. I'm a superhero.
And then boom. So he died doing what he always wanted to be.
Yeah.
He got the hero's death.
You had, Starro's gone. He made you feel bad, which, God, that every time we're just kind of like, look, I was good, man. I was chilling. And then you guys did this to me, really? And then you got Bloodsport like, look, I got this. I'll send it to whoever I want to. We go free. And don't you follow us. And then when Amanda Waller gets hit with that golf club, I was pretty happy. It was one of those just, yes, thank God. I did like the with Bloodsport talking about Rick Flag, and she was like, and Harley was just like, he was my friend. It wasn't a whole, it wasn't even like a villain thing. She was just like, I liked him. He was my buddy. We did a lot of missions together. We were close. And that's one thing I did love is you did get to see Rick and Harley kind of be like, besties. And then Amanda, like, I made you a leader. You didn't want to be, but I got you. And then there is Peacemaker scene.
Well, they had to set up the show somehow.
Yeah, I know. But when they walk in, they're like, we found this. They thought he was dead. He was in the rubble. And I was like, it's Rick. It's Rick Flag. No, it's not. It's not Flag. It's Peacemaker. And then we're just like, this is her getting back at us, right? Like, we got to deal with this asshole, really? And then Weasel.
He just gets up and runs away.
I'll go ahead and tell you, I 100%, knowing James Gunn, I expected a Weasel return in Suicide Squad 3. I was waiting for it.
I would have loved a Weasel return in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
That would have been funny. But no, yeah. So give me your thoughts on it first, and then I'll give you the thoughts I have.
I thought it was like start to finish, like it had my attention throughout the whole movie. Like the only scene that was just kind of like, okay, whatever, was like it was kind of like right when you get towards like the bar scene, and you have like the scene with like Harley and the young dude that was part of the coup to take over the Corto Maltese government.
Oh yeah, that one did feel
like that little thing. Like it was kind of slow, but like even then, like it was still entertaining.
Yeah,
and it was a nice break from the action of the beginning. There was a nice little lull, and then like a slow build up all the way to the end. And so like I really thought that it was well designed, and it had there were a lot of memorable moments from all points in the movie. It's something that you can rewatch because like it was just still that funny, or that like just like that scene where they were going through like the the camp and just like, like you said, they were just one upping each other. Like that whole scene was so well done. Or even that ending where like the fight scene in Jotunheim, like with the where they filmed it like around the helmet. Like I thought that was so out of the box and cool. I would have never thought to do that, but it was really cool. And the fact that they pulled it off and never like showed anything, like that was amazing in and of itself.
Yeah.
And so the story was very accurate with the comics. Like it was, they had a run that they were basing it off of, that it was, it was pulling a lot of stuff from that. But what it does is it sets up like future stuff. Like it doesn't end it, it just leaves it wide open for more stuff. And
Yeah.
we're going to get to see more of that world with the Peacemaker show and see what's going on with that. And it just makes me happy to, it just makes me look forward to watching the Peacemaker show, honestly. Like that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It's like I thought it was really good, and like I plan on rewatching it. It was that good.
With me, look, I'll take really any DC I can get because I'm a DC kid at heart. I love DC is really kind of my area, as I have shown multiple times through this. I'm more knowledgeable on DC than I am on Marvel.
Yeah.
That being said, it was a good movie. It just like you, it held my attention all the way through. There wasn't really any part that I was, kind of like, oh my god, or it's like kind of watching my, look at my watch. It was more of like a, okay, I can kind of see where they're kind of building on this. I can see this is going to pay out later in this and all that. But it really just, it kind of felt like James Gunn got fired from Guardians of the Galaxy, so he was going to make another Guardians of the Galaxy whether they liked it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it did kind of felt Guardians-y, where they just like the soundtrack felt really, really Guardians, just kind of like the humor, which it wasn't bad, but it was also, I don't expect that really from a DC movie. And it was interesting. And like I said, I really liked the movie, but like I said, I did not like that they killed Captain Boomerang, and I didn't like they killed Rick Flag. But I mean, it's a Suicide Squad movie. I knew it was going to happen anyways. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was a very beautiful film, and it had some very well did shots. Shots were well done.
I think my favorite thing about, like you said, the well done shots. Whenever they had like the different little like chapter things or whatever that were like, it started out as something that like you could see like as an audience, but then they always turned into stuff that was part of the actual scenes, right? So it was
like
either
the beginning or
so it was so there was one of them that showed I think it was the like the Jotunheim scene. Like it looked like it was just like on top of some buildings, and then like with the way that the camera panned, it was like they made it out of like different little architecture on the top. So it looked like it was just like if you looked at it from the right angle, it would say Jotunheim, and then if you look at it from the wrong angle, it just looked like a jumbled mess.
Yeah.
And I thought that, and the same thing with the music was they would have music that would start out as just being something for the audience, and then it would like cut into the actual scene, and like the song is still right there in line, like it never got turned off. But now it's something that the actual like characters can hear as well.
Yeah, stuff like that was very well made. What I will say, it's not my favorite Suicide Squad movie. I think I kind of dig the first one more, just personally. I'm a huge Deadshot guy. I think that's probably a big reason out of it. But I mean, I'll watch this movie 1,000 more times. I'll buy it on Blu-ray, and that's more than I could have said about Wonder Woman 84. Because
that one kind of. Like we've talked about that one on the podcast, and like I gave my whole thing about how like you really could have kept most of the movie and just like reordered some things. Yeah. And then the movie just plays so much better.
Yeah. And this
if you want to go listen to that, go find, it's in the title, just go search through the
it's our Wonder Woman 84 review. But yeah, I mean, it's not my favorite, but also I didn't despise it. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It felt like something I could sit down. I'm watching more DC. You don't have to really get caught into you have to watch this one, and this one before you watch this one. It's kind of if you've never seen a Suicide Squad movie before, you can throw this one on there, and they're really not gonna do anything because it's a world you can play in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I liked it. I mean, James Gunn has his personal touch of doing everything the way he does, and it's not bad. It felt like a Guardians movie to me. It felt like once Marvel kicked him for that like 2 weeks he was kicked, it felt like he was like, okay, you don't want me to make Guardians 3? Well, I'm gonna.
Well,
And
so the last that I heard is that they're still doing, like, he's coming
yeah,
back to do Guardians 3.
yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah.
still using just about the same script that he wrote before.
He got
So,
rehired.
yeah,
I
like
think
they really didn't even change anything other than when it was coming out.
yeah, I don't know how long after DC picked him up, but DC picked him up, and and Marvel was like, "Oh shit, 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 shit! Hey, hey, hey! No, 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 no! Remember we were kidding. It was funny, wasn't that funny? Come on back over here."
Uh,
But
yeah, so speaking on that, there were things that they weren't allowed to do in What If because it was too close to what James Gunn had written for his script for Suicide Squad. So now I'm curious to see what in the hell he wrote for his script in Suicide Squad. They couldn't have done a What If
yeah,
episode on.
so do I. But I mean, but yeah,
Because we should hopefully finally get Adam Warlock now. At that point, like I would have. Is Guardian supposed to come out before or after Nova?
I don't know that. I'm not sure of. I haven't been following that here lately, mainly because I haven't seen anything.
So let's see here. Because I remember that they were doing that they were gonna do. So it says May 5th. That's what it was. 2023.
Yeah,
I knew that it was still a couple years out. So then if we look for Nova, I can't remember which one was supposed to come out.
I can't remember. I know. I kind of personally feel like Guardians would be introducing Nova.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. Is that um, like I feel like you could do an intro, like introduce the character in Guardians 3, and then have him.
Kind of the same way they did Spider-Man.
Yeah, where it's like you put him in something, and then you get the
payoff next movie. But I mean, but no, if I had to give it like a number rating,
so even you could even get away with it in maybe like they have the, what is it, like the Marvels. Isn't that
yeah,
what Captain Marvel 2 is going to be, is like the
yeah,
Marvels?
I think it's gonna be I think in that one it's supposed to be Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel. So yeah, they get away with doing that. I
So
mean,
you could introduce him there because that's supposed to come out next year, I
yeah.
believe. It says 2022.
Which I
Yeah,
will say, Miss
November of
Marvel.
2022. So that'll be it looks like, oh my god, next year's going to have so much stuff. I know we talk
Yeah,
about this all the time, but next year's going to have,
next year is gonna be a great
good
time for
lord,
nerds.
because we have, yeah, so we have in order, we have, so Shang-Chi comes out in a couple weeks,
Yeah,
and then we get Eternals, which we can talk about that because I know the next episode we're going to do some What If, so we
yeah.
can go ahead and talk about like the Eternals trailer and all that too.
Which
We'll put that because looked bonkers, and I'm all here for it.
and here's the thing about the Eternals. That trailer made me a fan, so I can't wait. Yeah.
So we have Spider-Man coming out in December,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get Doctor Strange in March. You get Thor: Love and Thunder in May. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is July, and then you get the Marvels. So the Marvels comes out before Guardians 3.
And
Because
that's just Marvel stuff.
so, well, that's just the movies, because I know that we're getting
Getting
so we
should be
get the
this year.
Miss Marvel show is still coming up sometime this year. And then we have the Hawkeye show in November.
Yeah.
And then sometime next year we're getting Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and Secret Invasion. So like there's a lot of, like next year is going to be loaded with stuff.
Yeah, and like I said, that's just the Marvel stuff they're putting out. I mean, we're still getting the Batman next year.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what other DC. I feel like Shazam.
When was the Flashpoint movie supposed to come out? It
I
says
have no
2022.
I don't know when the Flash movie is going to come out.
November of 2022. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're getting Flash.
So Batman comes out in March, and then I forgot Black Adam comes out in July next year.
Yeah, so
we get to see The Rock as Black Adam finally.
Next year is going to be a great time for it. We're going to have a lot of content to talk about.
There's going to be so much stuff to talk about all the time.
Yeah, because
they actually don't have a like a Nova like on the docket. It looks like.
So, I think it might be one of those that
So it's probably one of those that like it'll be because what are we in phase 5?
Well, I think we're in phase 4 right now. Wait, are we in phase 4?
Oh no, this is phase 4 because it says only Fantastic Four's release date remains elusive. Does that mean it's part of phase 5? Honestly, that could be a good way to kick it off with Fantastic Four because that's the only other movie that's been announced that does not have a date.
Yeah.
Well, that and then you have like Blade. Blade doesn't have a date yet either.
I don't even think Blade has a director yet.
I believe it does.
Does it? The last time, and I could be wrong because I haven't looked into that here lately.
Like how would you? Yeah, if you cast the the main character, you got to have a director. It says Bassam Tariq, so it's probably somebody that you know.
I don't know any of his work, or unless I do and I don't know that his name's on it.
Oh, actually, this is from. All this came out like the day before my birthday this year, so it's actually like about a month old.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, the last I had heard, Blade was still looking for a director, but I'm glad they found one. No, I mean, we have a lot of stuff that's coming up. I mean, we're still waiting on that No Way Home trailer, even though someone dropped a
teaser of the tiny picture of the. It looks like
which I have.
So it looks like a lot of documentary stuff for director, and then there is a Mogul Mowgli. I have no idea.
I think that was a Netflix. I think that was
that's like the only big thing that this guy has done. So it's just another one of those, the MCU taking somebody that no one's ever heard of and probably going to turn
him a chance to make a movie.
Yeah, probably going to turn him famous.
Probably, but yeah,
that's about what.
But yeah, but with Suicide Squad, if I had to rate it, I'd give it like a 7.5 or an 8 for me.
Yeah, that's just me personally. It's an 8 for me. Like I don't think it was perfect. Just I mean, it killed a couple of characters that I wanted to see go forward. So like that kind of hurts it in my eyes, just because like, oh, I wish that we could have gotten even more of this person, and then because like I would have loved to see more Rick Flag. Like I would have loved to see like Rick Flag and like Bloodsport team up for some stuff. Like that would have been cool. Like going forward, I would have actually enjoyed more Polka Dot Man. Weirdly enough. So
yeah. I did post a picture on my Facebook that said had a picture of Taskmaster and Polka Dot Man, and it said they both got their feature film debuts this year, and ironically, I like Polka Dot Man more.
I saw that. That was funny.
But no, yeah, I mean 7.5, 8. So I wouldn't go any higher than that. Wasn't a bad movie. Wasn't my favorite movie that came out this year though. I mean, is Zack Snyder's just was that this year?
Yeah, that was this year. It was earlier this year.
Dude, it's been a long year. Okay.
Yeah, saying that, I'm trying to think of what I would think is my favorite.
I would have to, for me personally,
so like Zack Snyder's Justice League is like a weird cop out, seeing as how most of it came out before, but
yeah, true. Let me see. Favorite movie that came out this year. Honestly, can't think of any right now.
So let's see here. I still put it ahead of stuff like Army of the Dead. I put it ahead of like I really liked Army of the Dead. Don't get me wrong. I still put it ahead of that. I still put it ahead of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that I will say that I think it's my favorite movie that's come out so far. The problem is there's a lot of stuff coming out. Like it's almost September and
Yeah.
there's still so many more things to come out. Like I'm just gonna read you off some of my. So we still have Shang-Chi 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We still have James Bond. It's in October.
Yeah.
We still have Venom. Let There Be Carnage. October.
Yeah.
Dune actually looked interesting. That's October as well.
Dune looked very good.
We have the Eternals in November. We finally get Ghostbusters Afterlife in November. I've been looking forward to that one for a few years.
Yes.
The new Top Gun's finally coming out at the end in the mid-November. There's a new Resident Evil coming out.
Movie?
Yeah, it says Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City.
That must be a Netflix thing. I don't know though.
It says a new movie version of the chilling survival horror game, nothing to do with the enormously successful but not very faithful previous Resident Evil movies or the rumored Netflix series. So it looks like it's something completely different, but like it's going to be different from everything. Yeah,
I'll watch it. I'm a Resident Evil guy. I love Resident Evil.
Yeah, and then we still have Spider-Man: No Way Home. We still have The Matrix 4. And then we still have The Kingsman, which is the prequel to the Kingsman movies.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was coming out.
Those all come out in December. So, because the Kingsman and The Matrix both come out on like 2 days before Christmas, 3 days before Christmas. So, like that's going to be your. And then sometime this year, it looks like we're getting the second Tomb Raider movie.
I still gotta go back to the first one.
You still hadn't seen it? I actually really liked it. It wasn't the Angelina Jolie ones, like I will admit that, but it was actually really entertaining.
I wasn't a Tomb Raider guy growing up. Like a lot of people I knew played the games, and I watched both the Angelina Jolie ones, but I wasn't a big Tomb Raider guy. I was big on the Resident Evil movies, ironically enough, as a kid. So,
oh, hold on.
I do have to go back and watch it. But no, I mean, if I had to think about my favorite movie to come out this year, honestly, it would have to be the Long Halloween movies. I mean,
can we talk about how the two like main love interests for Angelina Jolie in those movies was James Bond and Gerard Butler? It was Daniel Craig and Gerard Butler.
I forgot Daniel Craig was in this movie. Just mentioned.
Yeah, Daniel Craig's in the first one, and then
Gerard Butler was the second one, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, Gerard Butler was the second one. That was the one where they went to Africa.
Yeah.
Because the first one, what was the first one was the thing that like stopped time, and then the second one was the second one was Pandora's Box.
Yeah.
That was it was Pandora's Box. And then in the newest one, it was a some kind of like ancient mummy curse thing that was really just like a disease, and so like the bad people were trying to get it to make a bioweapon out of it.
Yeah.
But it was actually really entertaining, and I was not mad at it. It was completely different than the Angelina Jolie ones, and it worked. It really worked. There was a little bit more like slow moments in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was
well,
good. I would give it a watch.
I wasn't avoiding it. That's the thing. I wasn't avoiding it. I had planned on seeing it eventually. I just haven't gotten the chance. I've been meaning to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I would highly recommend you go watch it. Like, because like I feel like you would actually like that one.
Well, I'm gonna go back and watch it. But no, I mean, I can't.
So far, I think that this has been my favorite movie, but I don't think by the end of it, it's going to be my favorite movie.
Right now, mine is Justice League.
I couldn't even tell you if it's going to be in my top 3 at the end of the year, but it was a very solid movie.
Yeah, it was a solid movie. I mean, I said the reasons why I wasn't a big fan of it. I'll watch it again. I'll watch it another like 4 or 5 times. I mean, it'll probably be one of my go backs. You know, nothing else. I don't see anything else on HBO I want to watch when they eventually put it back on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. But I mean, it's just like Kong versus Godzilla got put back on the other day, and I watched it. I mean, It'll hold up. It'll hold up for a while.
Yeah,
but,
so like I'm gonna exclude Zack Snyder's Justice League from like mine, but like it for me it really is like between Kong versus Godzilla and this so far.
Yeah,
they have been my favorite movie. Like I watched the Space Jam, like it wasn't it wasn't terrible.
I didn't watch it.
It was just kind of like they made like a few jokes to the old one. They made like a few like modern day jokes. Like they modernized the movie, which I thought was kind of nice. You got to see War Machine be a bad guy, which was kind of funny. But it wasn't terrible. It was just kind of like it was the same kind of movie. It was just the new version. So it was like the athletes that they used were like modern day stars as opposed to having like Patrick Ewing, Muggsy Bogues, like those guys from back in the day, Charles Barkley. Like you got to see so you had like Anthony Davis, you had Damian Lillard, Klay Thompson, who I think they had like Sue Bird. No, yeah, maybe. They actually had a couple of WNBA stars too, which is kind of cool. But it was good.
But yeah, well, Suicide Squad. We both agree it's a decent movie. It's enjoyable to watch. If you guys haven't gotten a chance to go watch it, watch both parts of The Long Halloween. I promise you'll be saying the same thing I am. Jensen Ackles needs to be in every next rendition of Batman because he did so well. I'm going to do my review on this on both parts here soon. I've been meaning to do a review on a couple, but being a homeowner is it's a lot more than we thought. So, but yeah. Anyways, this was this week's episode of The Nerd is the Word. We're still working on, like I said earlier, some house cleaning stuff, some reviews, some watch-alongs. We're going to try and put out episodes more frequently here the next couple weeks. Just both been busy.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up that we're going to be able to talk about. Like I said, next week or like the next episode, whether it be next week or in 2 weeks, we'll have What If. We'll talk about the trailer for the Eternals. Hopefully we get a trailer for Spider-Man. That would be cool.
A real trailer and not just one where it's like
it's like the trailer. It's like a recording of a recording of a recording.
Yeah, I have refused to watch it.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm not doing it.
Oh yeah.
I just went to look and see if maybe they had actually, because of the leak, they had dropped it, but it doesn't look like it.
I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah, because so like I've seen.
I would say I don't think.
Yeah, like I've seen talks where it like could have been coming out like soon anyways. It was just like that's why it kind of got leaked or whatever. But like it'll come out soon enough. I don't know if it's one of those things that like they were waiting on something to happen with either like the Eternals or the What If show before they actually. Because so if you notice, they did that with the Eternals. They waited until after one of the episodes of like What If, and then something in the Eternals trailer was something that was also part of like that week's episode of What If. So it was like they basically waited just to put it out for like the information to be there both times. So,
hey, Marvel's smart. Part of me wants to think that this isn't really a leak. It's just kind of something that's a leak, and they caught someone recording and was like, go ahead, upload it. Let's see what happens. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest here, though. If Marvel didn't want it out, it's not getting out.
Well, yeah, they've already been trying to like get it pulled off the internet. So,
yeah,
like the biggest thing is that it makes the buzz around the movie like already even bigger.
So much bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like that stunt with there wasn't going to be a Spider-Man 3, and then Far From Home did so well because everyone thought it was going to be the last Spider-Man movie. I mean, I don't know. But this is the part of the show that look, I can sit here and talk about this kind of stuff for like 9 days and not run out of stuff because we love this stuff so much. But unfortunately, we have other lives. So this is where we have to end this episode. You have anything else you want to say, my friend?
Not really. I mean, so like I said, like anything that's coming up, like if you want to tell us like what your favorite part of the Suicide Squad was, you can leave it in the comments below. If there's a question you have about it that you want us to answer, feel free to put it in the comments below. Like we'll gladly be in there and answer any questions that show up. But I guess just look forward to, go back and watch some of the old ones if there's something that you finally got around to watching that we've talked about already. Or, we'll be, if you're looking forward to some what if, like we'll be doing that next. And we're gonna, because like I know there's already 2 episodes out as of recording this. There'll be a 3rd one coming out in a couple days. I really love the 2 episodes that I've seen so far. Like I've really loved. So I'm excited to get to talk about that a little bit.
Oh yeah, well, I don't have anything else. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, send us out. Help this channel get bigger. And until next time, this was The Nerd is the Word. I am Josh.
I'm Jeff.
And we'll see you next time. May the Force be with you.
And this is the way.